Hi there, I'm Gary. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm looking in the box of the Avro Anson Mark 1 in 1/72nd scale from Airfix. Now if you enjoy the show, do please let YouTube know by giving it the imperial thumbs up, by subscribing to the channel and by hitting the notification bell. All these things are free and a great way to show your support. So let's have a look first of all at the box the kit came in all those years ago. So here's the box of the Avro Anson Mark 1, 1/72nd scale from Airfix. Very, very old kit. The box art is pre-Roy Cross, so it's okay, but yeah, it's not brilliant, but it's all right. Typical sort of fairly small box for these kits. On this side here, it says it's a Series 2 kit. And then it's got adverts for other aircraft in the range. There's a Beaufighter, the Mirage 3. On this side, the Mosquito and the Lockheed Starfighter. You can just see here there's a tear out bit with a hole in it, so that this would allow it to stick on one of those poles hanging, be a hanging box on a display stand, or of course it can just be stood up or whatever. Okay, so Avro Anson Mark 1, nice enough, but yeah, kind of showing its age in a way with the colours and the dynamism of the image. I don't think we need these sort of speed marks off the top of the turret and the gun, because it weren't actually that fast. But anyway, let's have a look and see what we get inside. So just like all these old kits, box comes over, it's basic cardboard. Lots and lots of bits and pieces of plastic, many of which are still on the frame, no, not necessarily by any means all of them. There's some transparencies as well. There's a complaints form. If you've lost a part or broken a part, whatever, you can send it in to Airfix Productions in Haldane Place. Not anymore, you can't. And there's a checklist of all of the kits that are available at the time. That makes kind of interesting reading. If you've got the time to have a look at it, there's a decal sheet which has seen better days, mainly just about 60 years ago. And then there's the instructions. So we'll have a look at all these bits in a bit more detail. So there are 6 large pieces which were never on frames in the box. They were obviously moulded on frames, but then they're taken off the frames at the factory for packaging. So you've got the 2 fuselage halves, obviously, and the top and bottom halves of both the wings. And there are 2 plastic frames with most of the bits attached, not all of them. So this top one, we have 3 crew figures. Well done, Airfix. We have bits and pieces, aerials, a pitot, the control column, defensive gun for the turret, undercarriage parts and propellers. And on this frame, associated with this frame, we have the engines, the wheels. Oh yeah, there is a tail wheel. Bits and that's the base of the turret and the cockpit section with the seats and the ailerons there. Then we have the clear parts, the windscreen and cover, the side windows, some other windows, I think maybe underside of the aircraft, the mid-upper turret, and of course, this being old school Airfix, there's a stand should you wish to make this as a flying example. If we look at the plastic in close-up, you can see how nicely moulded this is. Obviously the moulds are quite fresh when this was done. It doesn't matter that there's a lot of raised detail, because this sort of cloth covering gave a lot of raised detail, so it's fine. It's relatively clean to look at. So at first glance you say, you know what, this is as good as modern plastic. There are some issues, not many, but there are some. The big one are things like this sink mark here, where you've got a locating pin behind it. There's a sink mark. I was going to say you don't see that these days, but unfortunately we all know you can quite often see that these days. again, there's a sink mark here behind this locator pin. That's probably to do with the temperature of the injection and stuff like that. The ejector pin marks on the inside are absolutely fine. Again, you wouldn't mind seeing those in modern kits. The big difference is the interiors are very, very, very basic compared with what you'd expect from a 1/72nd scale Anson today. But, you know, it's workable. It's okay. The plastic is not bad. There's not that much flash to speak of, if any. So it could be quite fun to put together. The wings likewise have got very prominent raised parts, and the skinning over the fabric is quite pronounced. I don't think was it fabric over the back of the engine nacelle? I wonder. I would have thought they'd have made that in metal. Anyway, again, the parts are quite nice, but everything looks very chunky, which is what it was in those days. Oh, there's the Airfix logo. Made in England, of course. But it's okay. It looks all right. You know, put two bits together, and that actually just sort of slots together. Look at that junction of the wing, front of the wing, is perfectly acceptable for today. There's a big aileron goes in there, of course. That's not actually the back of the wing. That's the back of the wing. Back of the wing's a bit chunkier than you'd allow these days. Another little pinhole there, which shouldn't be there. But there's not all that many of those to go around. A little bit more flash at the back of this as well. But you know what? Generally speaking, the fit is very, very good. Yeah, I mean, that front part of the wing, no problem. Lovely. As always with these older kits, the main problem is going to be with the transparency. They're not very well molded. You can just about make out the lines for the framing on there, but it's just that they are so thick. I mean, the pieces are so thick, and the plastic really wasn't great, and you can see the ejector pin there and all sorts of scrape marks around it and whatever. That's not great. This was the weak part of any kit in those. I mean, look at the surface luster, absolutely gone completely. Now we can try a bit of a dip on this to try and make that a bit cleaner. We'll give it a bit of a clean up with some IPA first, and then we'll dip it and see whether that will make it look a little bit more window-like. And then, of course, you've got the fun of glazing all these parts, which is going to be hilarious. The turret, again, the turret is so chunky. Look at the thickness of this plastic here. That's never going to look at anything other than awful. But it is what it is. We will persevere. We will do what we can. And yeah, just accept the fact it is a 60-year-old kit almost. These are the original decals for the aircraft. So national markings, squadron markings, tail flashes, and a serial number. And these are gas detector and patches, I think. Maybe they were, maybe they weren't. I'm not entirely sure. They're normally square, so maybe they weren't. Anyway, the colours are awful. They're really yellowed. The colours are not brightly. The whites aren't at all bright. They're not really well printed. They were fine for the late 60s. They're not really all that good now. So I will definitely replace these. But back in the day, when they were fresh, they were okay. But now, you know, getting these reds and stuff and the richness of the yellow, you just get so much nicer colours now with modern screen printed technology. So sadly, I won't be using these. This is the instruction sheet, and I use the word sheet advisedly because it is literally a sheet of paper. So on this side we have a history of the Avro Anson. It's quite a comprehensive description actually. It's quite nice. Not as necessarily brief as they do these days, a little bit more information in it than the instructions. The instructions are descriptive, and also they're just like an exploded view really of things. Not really much about what to put where and when and things like that, and what order to do them. If you want to know the order, you read about it. Place starboard cabin window transparency in position in the starboard fuselage half. You know, you don't mess around with these. It's very straightforward. So yeah, I'm liking it actually. I'm liking it. I mean, there are 3 steps. It's amazing. Step 1, fuselage and interior, done. Step 2, wings and undercarriage. Yep, okay, so wings go together. The aileron goes in there. That's how the undercarriage goes together. Bish, bash, bosh, put it all together, job done. Tailplane and engines, done. And that's it. And then there's colour schemes. This one is light grey undersides and dark earth and dark green on top. Really, really, really straightforward, simple diagrams. And we got on with them in the past. We didn't really need anything more fancy than that. We just did it. So there we go. There it is. I know the Anson is a very popular subject, and Airfix did a superb job with their recent 1/48 scale kit. But this early moulding is not half bad. Okay, the decals are shot, but they're easy enough to replace. More importantly, all the transparent parts have survived well, and the kit looks very neat indeed. I'm sure it will be a joy to build. If you've enjoyed this video, then please remember, let YouTube know by giving it the imperial thumbs up, by subscribing, and by hitting the notification bell. Thank you so very much for watching today, and goodbye.